Hi everyone! Today in this video we are going to learn a little bit more of Carnival of Venice, but before we get started we will start with the warm-up that we have been doing for a while now. Let me give you a pattern, and this time we're going to do a 3-beat pattern instead of a 4-beat pattern. So let's use this. So 1, 2, and 3. Can we all try that pattern? 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go! Good. We are going to work our way from our B flat all the way up to the F, back down to the B flat. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! 2, 3. Okay, like we've been doing, we've been adding notes to the top of our scale. Starting from F, we learned G, and then we learned A natural, which is second position, and we're just going to add that final note to complete our B flat major scale, which is obviously a high B flat, and that is played in first. So let me play the entire scale for you. So when you play the high B flat, make sure you're supporting a lot here and you're pushing a lot of air through it. That way you can hit that high note. Can we all try that now on the same pattern, which is... Okay, we're going to go all the way up to our high B flat. So remember, G is in fourth, A natural is in second, and then B flat is in first. So starting from the low B flat, ready? 1, 2, 3, ready, set. Let's do that one more time for practice, and we're going to use a new pattern, and it's going to be this. So we have 1 and 2, 3. Can we try that? B flat, all the way up to B flat, and back down. 1, 2, 3, ready, 2. Okay, I think we're ready to get started on our exercise. Turn to page 19, which is Carnival of Venice. Okay, I would first like to review what we had up to, well, we went up to measure 14, so we're going to play from the very beginning. We're going to play those 4 bars or measures of like an intro, and then we hit 5. We go through it, we take the first ending, we go back to measure 5 where it says theme, and then we play through it, and we end on 14. So let's play what we learned in the last video, just up to there, and then we will stop. So here's our tempo, and starting from the very beginning. 1, 2, 3, go! 2. guys do. We are going to do that one more time. Remember that you can play F in 6th position or in 1st position. So we were talking in the other video about how if you look at measure 7, so that's if you look at measure 5 and then count 2 measures over, you get to measure 7. We have an F and then a C and then an F, and we practice going 1 to 6 to 1. You can also just go from F in measure 7, C in 6th, and then keep it there in 6th and play the F in bar 8 in 6th. So it would sound and look like this in measure 7. 1, 2, 3, go, 2, 3. You can play it like that. Or we can play it how we were playing it in the other video, which is like this. 1, 2, 3, go, 2. You just have to be really quick when you're going from 6 to 1. Okay, we're going to play that all over one more time, and then we will move on and learn some more of this piece. So starting from the very beginning again. 1, 2, 3, go, 2. Okay, I hope you were more successful that time around. Now we're going to move on to the new material, which first we're just going to look at 14 to 23. So very similar from 5 to 14, which is what we just played. You have a repeat sign, and so at the end of the first ending, you go back to that repeat sign, which is in measure 5. Now in 14, I'll give you 10 seconds. See if you can find the other repeat sign that comes after 14 and tells you to go back to measure 14. Go ahead and point to that. Okay, good. So if you look at the first ending, we have measure 20, 21, and then we have another repeat sign. So at the end of the first ending, just like we did before, you're always going to go back to where the other repeat sign is, so that is measure 14. If you have a highlighter or a pencil, I would circle it maybe, and circle 14 or put an arrow to where 14 is. That way you know to draw your eyes back to the correct place when you have to quickly repeat a part and it's not linear and right there for you in front of you. So we're going to try this. First we're going to sizzle it. Just sizzle. If you'd like to add the trombone to it and start doing the positions, that would be great too. I'll do the positions for you so you can see it, but I would like you to mainly be focusing on sizzling. So this is at measure 14. 1, 2, 3, sizzle, 2, 3. Okay, how many of you were able to get back successfully to measure 14? It's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard jump, but you do get 2 beats of rest so you can kind of look back at 14 really quickly. And then the other tricky part I would say about this section is that when you get, so you're playing at 14, and when you get to measure 19, and then you have to jump to the second ending, you have to jump over 2 measures. So just be sure and look ahead. You do get a rest on beat 1 of measure 22, or that second ending, but it's a little hard to loop. So we're going to sizzle it again. I'm going to sizzle with you, and then I'm going to position along, and I'd like you guys to focus on sizzling and just figuring out the roadmap to this. Okay, so one more time at 14. 1, 2, 3, sizzle, 2, 3. Okay, let's try with you guys fingering along now. So to go over it, we know our B flats, we know our Fs. It's actually very similar to what we had in 5 through 14. The only thing that might trip you up is in the first ending, we have B flat to D to F, and then back to B flat. And then in the second ending, we have rest, 2 and 3, 1. Okay, let's try with you guys sizzling and fingering along. I'm going to play for you so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Measure 14. 1, 2, 3, sizzle 2. Okay, you may have noticed while you were watching me that I was kind of staying in 6th for a while. So if you look at measure 18, go ahead and count 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have a C in 6th, and then we go back to an F in measure 19. So I just stayed out there and then came back in for the B flat in the first ending and the second ending. You can do that, or again, you can go back and forth from 1 to 6, whatever is more comfortable for you. If you're super comfortable with both, I would recommend staying in 6. It's just a little bit easier. But, okay, I would like for all of us to now try and play this. Starting at measure 14. 1, 2, 3, play 2. Okay, we're going to try playing that one more time for you to fix anything that you might have missed. Also, if you notice, look at that dynamic at measure 14. It's a P, which stands for piano. That's exactly right. So we can play a little bit quieter, and then if you notice at the second ending, or one measure before 23, you have an F, which stands for forte, or loud. Very good. So if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can actually take the dynamic that is written, and it will make it more interesting. Let's start at 14 again and play through it. 1, 2, 3, play 2. So we're going to move on. Let's start at pickups to 28. So the pickup is the note before 28. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, bum, bum. We're going to play pickups to 28. Then I would like us to count out loud like our percussionists love to do. We are going to count out loud the rest that we have. So for example, at 28, we'll do the pickup, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, bum, bum, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, play. Okay? So when we are not playing or we're not sizzling, I would like us to count those measures of rest that we have, just so we can all stay together. And then we have another lovely repeat, although this time we don't have the fancy first ending and second ending. We just have a repeat at 36, if you look there. And so, where do we go back to? That's exactly right. So we go up to 36, we see the repeat, and then we go back to measure 28. Remember, when we go back to measure 28, we don't need that pickup, we just play exactly on 28, and then we have those 3 measures of rest again, and then we continue playing. So let's try sizzling 28, and feel free to add the trombone to it if you can finger along also. 1, 2, 3, sizzle it. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, let's pause there. Did you guys make it back to 28? So again, when I count in, it'll be 1, 2, 3, sizzle it. And then we land on 28. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, sizzle it. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's try that again. I would like you to add the trombone positions if you can. And sorry, I'm going to pause this really quickly. If you noticed, while we were sizzling, I played C in 6th, so if you look at measure 32, I played C in 6th, as we know, and then I played the F in 6th, because then I don't have to move, and then the next F that is on beat 3 of measure 33, you play the F in 1, that way you can get the B flat in 1. So really, you don't have to move your slide when you have consecutive notes, because you can just play the C in 6th, F in 6th, then F in 1, B flat in 1. You guys are going to sizzle it and finger along. I'm going to play it for you. That way you can hear what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, sizzle it. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so not super hard, not one of the busier parts of this whole piece, but I think we can do it. Let's try adding the trombone and everyone playing together. 1, 2, 3, play it. 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's finish this out, shall we? So, measure 36. We have another wonderful repeat and dealing with first and second endings. And we also have some nice measures of rest. So let's just sizzle it. Let's sizzle the whole thing at 36. And take the repeat, which is going to bring you back to 36. And then take the second ending, which will bring us to the very end of the piece. Okay, 36, sizzling only. 1, 2, 3, sizzle it, go. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Okay, I hope you were able to get to the ending. This is perhaps a little trickier than what we've had before, just because we have a lot more eighth notes than we did. So I would like you guys to sizzle it, and if you can, add the trombone positions, and I'm going to play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Again, don't forget to count your rests out loud. 1, 2, 3, sizzle it. Go! 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Two, three, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, this part's kind of hard because we're jumping up between our B flat and our F, which is kind of tricky. You have to add a lot more air into it, that way you can get the F and the B flat to speak clearly. Let's try it, maybe a little slower, and I want you guys to play with me. One, 2, 3, measure 36. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Two, three, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, if you are not able to make it to the end, that is totally okay. We will be going through this again and again, but you have made it through the entirety of Carnival of Venice, so that's awesome. One other quick thing I'd like to note is that if you're having trouble going from the B flat to the F, and back and forth like that, think about the lower notes, so the B flat, and think about dropping your jaw and making as much space in your mouth as possible. Like, let's take, for example, a hard-boiled egg, and let's say you put it in your mouth, so your mouth is really round and open and there's a lot of space in that, and if you drop your jaw, then you should be able to get a nice resonant sound on the B flat. And then the F, you can tighten the corners of your lips and put more air through it that goes faster, and you'll get the F. So that might help you if you're having trouble with that. Also, really quickly, I would just like to note the little signs that look like this at the very end. So we have in measure 47 and 48. They're right below the notes. And do you know what those are called? Yes, they are called an accent. So if you didn't know what that was, that's an accent, those little tiny, like, almost like mini decrescendo looking symbols under the notes. It's called an accent, and it just means to kind of like punch the note or emphasize the note a little. So this is what it would sound like without an accent. I'm playing at measure 47. Kind of dull. And this is what it sounds like as written, or with the accents at 47. So kind of a little punch and attack on the front of the note. So that's just an extra little tidbit of music to make this sound even better than it does. So in the next video, we will review more of this, but I'd like to end just by playing from the second ending and all the way to the end, just so we can get that under our fingers. So I'm going to bump up the tempo back to where we had it before. And we're just playing from the second ending, so measure 44, all the way to the very end. Okay? 1, 2, 3, play! 2. Okay, great. Good job. Thank you so much for watching. Look out for more videos where we'll continue to work on Carnival of Venice, and then we will move on to Conquest. But have a great rest of your day.